Hello everyone. So today I'm gonna make a tier list on all the zombies in a game called the Undead Armageddon. This game is a Roblox game based off the 2007 Roblox game The Undead. So in this tier list it's gonna be S rank, of course being the best zombie, and D rank being the worst. So I'm gonna rank them based on my personal opinions on how versatile and useful they are in the game. So first of all, I'm gonna start with a normal zombie. They're but they're practically one of the most important zombie in the whole game, as they can easily help you farm more red bricks, especially when you're a noob. So it becomes very useful for you. Not only that, especially even in late game, like when you max everything, now you don't really need to farm any more red bricks, but he's still very useful as it's a zero cost zombie. So basically, there's also never any reason to never use this guy, as you're basically getting free red bricks without any risk. You're just only getting rewards basically. So that's why I'm putting in S tier. Next I have is Fast Zombie. I'm gonna put in B tier. It's definitely way more annoying than before, but recently with the new link store you can deal with it relatively easy now. And since most people also prioritize using SMGs and shotguns, it means that you're gonna have a tough time playing as a Fast Zombie main right now. But overall, Fast Zombie can still be very annoying, especially with the very high like the very much increased jump height when compared to the normal zombie. But overall, you're relatively weaker, and really the only thing you have is how like your movement speed and jump boost increase. If it's not for those, overall it's very hard to use fast zombie when compared to normal zombie, and not to mention since it also costs 3 red bricks per use, it means that there is relatively hard to balance the risk and reward, as it means that every time you use the zombie you should always get at least like 3 hits on the enemies, or else you're basically not you're basically getting a negative like reward in this zombie. That's why overall I think normal zombie is way more versatile and useful. Next I have is Kami zombie. I'm gonna put in A tier overall, or like unless you max him out, he's not gonna be very useful for you, especially to most noobs potentially watching this video. Kami zombie is a pretty hard zombie to use since he's way more defensive when compared to the other zombies, which I would say are way more offensive. Since like he have relatively low speed, so it means that you can't really catch up to players who are just running away from you. So what you want to do is always like get behind them, like you want while they're like while the humans are distracted by other zombies, like maybe the tank or the chargers, you want to get behind them or like sneak attack them. Or another thing you could do is wait for them to come to your path and then use your ability to charge up your explosive ability. So overall, I'll say even though he have a very low skill ceiling to use, it's overall pretty hard to use him if you're not like skilled at using him. Not to mention, players who are good at facing against Kami zombies will know that a headshot will basically make him the same as the normal zombie. So you basically wasted 9 red bricks on him. But overall, I think that he's still very useful, especially to players who aren't careful on the surroundings. That's why he definitely deserves at least an A tier. Next I have is Charger Zombie. Charger Zombie is one of the most important zombie for this game, especially against the last player, as he is basically the only zombie that can stun, but this game doesn't really treat stun as like stunning. It's basically slowing the humans down a bit, but overall he's still one of the most important zombies in this game, as he's basically the only reason any other zombies can catch up to the last person. And of course, unless you're you're making shortcuts against a human like on path. So yeah, but overall like this guy is just so important as he's the only reason other zombies can't even catch up to the last person. Of course, except for Fast Zombie, but even then, Fast Zombie will have a hard time catching up to the last person, especially if the last person have a pretty good firearm. This is why Charger is overall very important for the current gameplay for zombies. That's why I think he deserves at least an S tier. Last and then second to last, I have a Hazard Zombie. Overall, I have to put in C tier. I do want to put in D tier, but then I have seen good use cases for him. First of all, you can usually waste the gas mask of many human players quickly, especially the new players. And even then, most new player doesn't know how to use a gas mask, so you can do a lot of damage and get a lot of red bricks quickly for yourself. And another thing is that gas masks become way more useful, like especially when you're in the late game. So if you're good with Hazard Zombie, then you're gonna be pretty efficient to your team. But overall, I still find him too weak and too slow for him to be useful. As when he's peeking out to shoot his toxic like ball, whatever you want to call that, you can still get killed and shot like way too easily. This is why overall I think Hazard still really needs a buff compared to the other zombies. Finally, I have tank. Although tank may seem pretty overpowered at first, if there's a talented team of humans, then it means that the tank is over not really that useful. But still, tank is basically a game changer to the zombie team, so a good tank player will always be very important. So another thing you should know is that tank is basically used as first level. Unless you max him out, never use tank. Tank, even though he can sustain a lot of damage, the damage, like, he doesn't get any reduced damage for himself. Like, he doesn't get any reduced damage, so basically he still takes a lot of damage. Even though he's tanky, he can still get killed very quickly if the human team is competent and the other zombies are not supporting this tank. This is why, even though tank may seem like a very overpowered zombie at first, without any support from like chargers or normal, you're basically just a living sponge that is gonna get killed relatively quickly, especially since you're overall you have a pretty slow walking speed. Overall, this is my tier list. I hope you enjoy this video and I hope you find it useful.